Hey guys, what's up? It is WSN News here with another video, and today it is just going to be a traditional video making my predictions on the NCAA tournament, filling out this bracket, and letting you guys know what I think will happen in this year's NCAA tournament. So let's get started. In the East region, obviously I'm going to go with Duke over the winner of North Dakota State, NC Central. It's kind of a no-brainer right there. I mean, there can be upsets, but Duke's good. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna go with UCF because I think they performed well this year. Here's the matchup preview. I think UCF has performed much better. They got Taco Fall, the 6'7" guy, very, very good basketball player. So I'm gonna go with number 9 UCF there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and go with Mississippi State here. Many people think Liberty will pull an upset, but I'm just not seeing it. I've watched Liberty a few games this year, but I'm really not seeing Liberty coming in with the upset in this one. Next, Virginia Tech, a really good basketball team. They played very well this year. I don't see them having a problem taking down St. Louis, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the Hokies. So next, I can see an upset here. I think Belmont's going to defeat Temple, and then I think Belmont will beat Maryland. An upset over, Belmont will defeat Maryland and move on to the round of 32. Next, I know a lot of people have been picking Yale, but I'm going to go with LSU just because of the coaching struggles of LSU. I think they'll come out with a good win here, but then I don't know how much further they'll get just because of Will Wade out and all that controversial stuff. So next, I'm going to go with a little upset here, Minnesota over Louisville. Minnesota's been playing well. They beat Purdue in the Big Ten tournament. They beat Penn State. They've been playing pretty good basketball recently. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Minnesota there. And then this is kind of a no-brainer also. I think Michigan State will get the win over Bradley. It's the number 2 seed. Next, I'm just going to go with Gonzaga for this one. And then next is Syracuse versus Baylor. This will be a good match. Matchup preview. Just want to check this out. But I already thought my pick will be Syracuse. Next, I got to go with... this is a tough one, actually, because John Morant and the Murray State Racers have been a solid team this year. This is a tough one. Notable results: Murray State beat Belmont once, lost to Belmont, I'm going to go with Murray State here in the John Morant and the Racers. I think they'll get a good win over Marcus Howard and the Marquette Golden Eagles right here, and I think they'll move to the round of 32. Next, Vermont isn't a great basketball team. They were good enough to win their conference championship, but I'm just going to go with Florida State here. Next, I think the Buffalo Bulls are a very, very good basketball team, and they can really shoot the ball. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Buffalo over the winner of St. John's and Arizona State. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and go with Texas Tech. Next, honestly, I'm going to see Florida pull a little upset over Nevada here. I can see Florida. They can play some good basketball in March, so we'll see what happens there. I'll go with Florida, though. Next, I'm just going to go with Michigan. Michigan's a better team. Okay, next is Virginia. Virginia lost last year, the 16th seed, and I don't see that happening again, so I think they'll move on. Next, I'm going to go with Ole Miss over Oklahoma. Ole Miss is the overall better, well-rounded team than Oklahoma, so I can see Ole Miss winning that. Next, I'm going to go with Wisconsin. A lot of people see Oregon winning, but I just don't see it. Wisconsin is a decent basketball team. I think they can make a little run in this tournament, maybe to go to the Sweet 16. But, yeah, I think Wisconsin will win that. Next, I can see UC Irvine pulling off the upset here. Upset alert, big upset right here over Kansas State. Kansas State had a pretty good year, but I'm going to see UC Irvine getting the win here, moving into the round of 32. Jay Wright's team's always really good, so I'm just going to go with the Villanova. I don't see St. Mary's pulling off anything in this, so I'm just going to go with the Villanova there. Next, I can see Purdue beating Old Dominion. Old Dominion isn't really anything too special, so I'm going to go with Purdue. Next, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a good team, but Iowa isn't really. They've really struggled defensively, so I just don't see Iowa winning that one. Next, Tennessee over Colgate. It's kind of a no-brainer. Then North Carolina over Iona. I think Utah State is really a better team than Washington. Washington may be the favorite for most people to pick in this one, but I see Utah State moving up with their size and shooting ability. I'm going to go with Auburn here. Auburn's been playing some pretty good ball in March so far in their conference tournament in the SEC, so I see them moving on versus New Mexico State. Next, I see Kansas knocking off Northeastern. Kansas can play pretty good ball, but they've struggled this year, but I can see them winning this one. Next, Iowa State. That's kind of a no-brainer. Ohio State hasn't been great, but they're not a terrible team. I'm going to go with Houston over Georgia State. And then I think Wofford's a good basketball team. I think Miles Powell and Seton Hall will give them a fight and run for their money, but I think Fletcher, McGee, and Wofford will get the win over Seton Hall. And then I'm going to go ahead and go with Kentucky over Abilene Christian. So let's go to the round of 32. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with Duke there. We're just going to go through these picks now and just pick who I think. I'm going to go with the Hokies there. I'm going to go with Belmont there over LSU to into the Sweet 16. I'm going to go with MSU there. I'm going to go with Gonzaga there. I'm going to go with Florida State there. I'm going to go with an upset alert, Buffalo over Texas Tech. And then I'm going to go with Michigan. And then Virginia, Wisconsin. I'm going to go with another upset, Villanova over Purdue. And then I'm going to go Cincinnati. I'm going to go with Tennessee over Cincinnati. Well, no, I think Cincinnati is going to pull an upset, actually. Next, we will go with North Carolina, upset Auburn over Kansas. I think Iowa State will knock off Houston. And then I'm going to go with Kentucky. So into the Sweet 16 now. I'm going to go with Duke, obviously. Then I'm going to go with MSU. But I think Belmont will kind of be that Cinderella this year, so that's why I picked them. Next, we're going to go with FSU over Gonzaga. The upset alert, knocking off the 1 seed. And then I'm going to go with Buffalo. I think Buffalo could be a Cinderella, too, into the Elite Eight. Next, I'm just going to go with Virginia. Jay Wright's Villanova Wildcats. Who did I pick them to be? Purdue, okay. And next, I will go with North Carolina and then Kentucky. So into the Elite Eight. Got these 8 teams left. We got 3 1 seeds, 2 2 seeds, 2 6s, and a 4. So I'm going to go with Buffalo into the Final Four. And then in the East, I'm going to go Duke. I think Michigan State will finally choke and have a bad game in this tournament. Next, I'll go Virginia. And then I'm going to go with Kentucky. On to the Final Four, Duke versus Buffalo. I think Duke's going to win that one. And I think Kentucky will knock off Virginia. So, Buffalo, a little run in this tournament. I personally think Buffalo will be the Cinderella this year, but not win it. So, I'm going to go ahead and do 68, 67. 1-point game, so it's a close game. So, thank you guys for watching. Why don't you guys go ahead, drop a like.